Hey guys, what's going on? Tosan here with another Q&A. I've been getting a crap ton of questions in, so thanks for sending them in, but I also want to apologize for anybody that's not getting their questions answered because, again, there's a lot of questions and I'm only one person and I've got lots of nerd stuff to do. So, if I don't answer your question, I apologize. You can try submitting it multiple times and, it'll increase the likelihood that it'll get answered. So I definitely appreciate the participation in the Q&As. So, anyway, let's hop right into this. Oh, here's an interesting question. Brody asks, I hope this is a decent question. When was the last time you talked to Dance? For those of you who don't know, Dance is a guy that used to make videos in Burning Crusade time. He made the Shadow Word Dance series, and he's a really funny, cool guy, and he made really good videos. And I actually joined his blog site rather for a very short period, and then he kind of disappeared. He fell off the face of the earth. Nobody knows what happened to him, really. I actually haven't talked to him in probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years even, maybe more. I don't know if you've ever seen my hard-packed holiday video. It was pretty funny, just using the hard-packed snowballs to knock people off of bridges and stuff and die back in vanilla days. We actually made a kind of like a duet video, I guess you'd call it, Hard-Packed Holiday 2, and it had much better editing. It was very creative, and it was basically a mix of me and him on his Undead Shadow Priest doing the same thing, killing bitches with snowballs, and I had almost the entire completed video done on my hard drive, edited and everything. He made the intro, I made a really funny outro, and it was great, and then he never did the voice acting portion of his, I guess maybe he was shy. He kept saying his headset was left at his parents' house, and he couldn't, he had no microphone to do the recordings, and he basically stalled for like 4 or 5 months, and then my hard drive crashed, and we never got to finish the video, unfortunately, and it was a really funny video, and so completely disappeared, gone to waste, no way to recover it. So I haven't actually talked to him in a while, but it's a shame because he was a really funny, cool guy and made good videos. Alright, next question. How do you deal with hunters as a Frost Mage? I run WMP, Warrior Mage Priest, currently at 2550, and we've been running into a lot of hunter/melee teams that just shit on me and force me to play so defensive I can't even do damage. I CC their healing and try to get as much damage off as I can, but the pressure's crazy. Any tips on what I could do against those comps? Well, hunters are kind of tricky. They do, a hunter's niche is really, they're really, the biggest benefit of a hunter is the fact that they have really good CC if you don't fuck it up, and they also have unstoppable damage. Their pressure itself, the hunter's pressure by itself is not actually that good, but it's really hard to stop, other than just hiding behind a pillar the whole game. You can't really, it's not like a melee where you can kite it, and it's not like a caster where you can counterspell it. So, hunters are tricky in that regard, but what you really have to do is, if you're getting trained, whoever your other teammate is, the warrior needs to stand near your priest or be ready to intervene to him and eat traps. If he doesn't intervene, scatter, or eat traps, then you're pretty much going to lose by default. He really needs to be on the ball with that. Your priest needs to call out instantly when he's scattered, like, I'm scattered, scattered, call it out very urgently, and your warrior needs to not suck and instantly intervene and eat that trap. Because if you're being trained, you can eat the trap sometimes, but you can't really expect it because you're going to be snared and stunned and silenced a bunch. Hunter teams can be dealt with by eating the traps constantly so your healer can bomb heals on you. Other than that, kiting is all you really got to do. One thing that people don't understand about mages is that by themselves, their CC, especially if they're being trained, they don't really have CC when they're trained by themselves. It's really easy for a healer to keep up with dispelling novas and stuff when they're not putting out CC other than like a blanket silence or a deep freeze here or there. Your priest really needs to be proactive with his fears, especially on the healer if he can, because if he can fear the healer, then you can CC the melee off of you, and then maybe sheep the hunter and then start shitting on the melee or something, or whatever target choice you choose. The reason that mages always play with warlocks or priests in just about any comp, and that's because fear is an amazing CC to help a mage set up his CC. It's much easier for a mage to CC out of somebody else's CC than to just CC by themselves. That's what people don't understand about mages. Their CC is kind of dependent on other CCs to set it up. Those ridiculous long CC chains come from CC combos with the mage, not the mage by himself. So yeah, you really need your teammate needs to eat traps, and you need to have your priest be proactive with his CC. Alright, a question on what class somebody would like to play instead of healer. Nemix asks, I've been playing a disc priest since Burning Crusade. I'm about 2100 rating at the moment, and plain healing doesn't feel fun to me anymore. Due to the characters I already have, I can easily reroll either Shadow Priest, Mage, or Rogue. Which of these would you recommend in terms of being the most fun to play in arenas? I think they're all very fun to play in arenas, except I do find Mage this expansion to be less, I don't want to say skillful, they still have a really high skill cap, but it's also, in certain regards, lowered the skill floor, as they call it. I find mages very powerful still, but also very frustrating to play. I actually, out of the three, I'd probably say Rogue and Shadow Priest are close. I really enjoy playing both of those in arenas. Mage has always been my favorite class up until this expansion. Now I find it just very frustrating because you're more about getting a bunch of instants off and taking the rare opportunity to cast Warlock Shaman teams being so, constant and stuff. Being wind sheared, grounded, Curse of Tongues 24/7, although you can get by that if you're good, of course, easily. It's just very frustrating. I find mages more frustrating than the other two to play, and I find all of them fun. But I would say Shadow Priest and Rogue over Mage, either one of those is good. They're both very fun to play right now. Although, both of them have their weaknesses, of course, like, if you want to go into BGs and just solo poop on nerds for fun, Shadow Priest is good against a lot of stuff. Rogue is really good soloing at a lot of things. Probably better than Shadow Priest overall, of course, but Shadow Priest is very fun in BGs too, especially if you don't have, like, DKs, Ferals, and Warriors training you the whole time. Alright, Jurgen asks, I'm a fellow hunter around 2K. We are currently running Warrior Hunter Shaman. I know you usually run PhD, but I'm really hoping to push that last 200 rating, so I'm just wondering if you know good CC chains for KFC, and in case I ever do PhD, a good CC chain for that comp too. Well, any team with a hunter and a melee means the CC chaining is pretty much up to you. You have to be really good with your scatter traps, monkey stun, silencing shots, etc. Very dependent on you. Your melee is pretty much there just to tunnel vision damage most of the time. As KFC, the warrior, again, is mostly there for damage. Typically, you're going to want to give him freedom over yourself, unless you really need it for kiting, just so he can destroy, whatever target he's on. But the CC chaining is on you mostly. You want to do like a scatter trap, or preferably a monkey stun to trap, because the monkey poofling is less likely to get the enemy to respond and react and eat the trap. Scatter, whenever the healer calls out, I'm scattered, anybody nearby can go and eat the trap and ruin your CC chain. So I've kind of forced myself into the habit of doing monkey stun to trap, and then a scatter after that. Even though that does desync your scatter and trap cooldowns a little bit, that's not a big deal. It makes your trap land pretty much 99% of the time. Basically, monkey stun to trap, to scatter, to silencing shot, that's your CC chain. If you're playing with the DK, you can throw Strangulate into that mix. You can actually have him Strangulate in place of your silencing shot, as long as that CC chain is still airtight when you're going for a kill, because it'll last longer as a blanket silence, and then your diminished silencing shot is going to be 1.5 seconds, but if you hit him on a cast, it does serve as a 3-second interrupt. So if you do a Strangulate and then silencing shot on a cast, it's still 8 seconds, whereas if you do a silencing shot and then Strangulate, it's only 5.5 seconds of silence, so it's kind of shitty. And then of course your Shaman can follow up with a 4-second Hex if you want to extend the CC chain, depending on the situation. If the target's really low, that'd be a good idea. Or he can wait for the diminishing returns from the trap to end and then just do a full 8-second Hex later on and help you score a kill then. A lot of the time I just don't have the Shaman Hex the healer at all though, because I don't want to deal with his Hex messing with my trap's diminishing returns. So a lot of the time I'll have him Hex whatever the third target is, whatever we're not killing and whatever's not the healer. It's really up to you though. Depends on how competent your CC chains are as a hunter. Irlia asks, strange name. Hey Tosan, how do you feel about the MMR at the moment? A couple of my friends around the same rating, 2.2 to 2.4k, are saying that the MMR system is broken at the moment, and I'm not sure if it's affecting the higher ups. Thanks. It is most definitely affecting the higher ups. It's affecting everybody because it's a ladder system, you know what I mean? Whenever you beat a team, you take some of their rating. So if everybody in the low brackets is not being able to feed off of each other to get high rating, then we can't feed off of the people under us to get high rating, if you know what I mean. So, a leech system, I should say. So it's like, yeah, the MMR system is totally fucked up right now. Blizzard, it would be fine if Blizzard didn't reset the ladder. The ladders would look completely different. Right now, rank 1 teams would be like 26 to 2700 on every VG just about, rather than 3100, you know what I mean? Because those teams had the inflated MMR of last season and got there within the first week or two of the season. Then Blizzard implemented the MMR nerf a few weeks in and, deflated MMR significantly, but didn't reset the ladder, so all those teams are sitting up on their unreachable rating, basically. So yes, 2.2 to 2.4k isn't actually bad. That's the equivalent of, like, 2.4k now is like the equivalent of 2.6 to 2.7k last season. Well, if the ladders were reset, you'd be getting glad with 24 to 2500 easily, I'm pretty sure. So, yes, it's affecting everybody, and it's shitty, unfortunately. I don't know if Blizzard is going to do anything. Maybe inflation will happen slowly as the season goes on, and maybe by the end of the season there'll be enough inflation to, bust through those rating camping bitches and take a glad spot. I don't know. But it is definitely fucked up, and I wish Blizzard would have reset the ladder. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for submitting your questions and for watching these, of course. And I'm going to try to do these more frequently because I'm getting a lot of questions lately, and I don't like leaving anybody out, but I also have to apologize again. I can't answer everybody's questions, of course, but still keep sending them in. You know, there's a good chance it will if your question is somewhat interesting and not too long. I'm really sorry about the microphone thuds that have been going on in this video. I'm not touching the mic at all. I'm new to using these actual legitimate microphones, so I have no idea why it's doing that. It's just like thudding randomly. I'm not touching the damn thing. So I apologize for that. Anyway, keep submitting your questions and send them to tosantribe@gmail.com and with the topic name question, and use the format Tosan Asks preferably. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and peace out.